this concept underlies much of the book, the idea of
Yep.
habits and addictions. And he really early on, in the section called An Agonizing Reappraisal, he sets out the spectrum of potential states between habits and addictions. So he says that a habit is a settled tendency or practice, and habits are neither good nor bad. They're neutral. They're just what people or animals more generally do. But once pursuit of a habit crosses a largely culturally defined barrier, once you pursue it to a greater extent than the culture within which you're situated deems acceptable or normal, that becomes an obsession. And it's viewed dimly because it's seen as a reduction in your free will. If that continues even further, it becomes an addiction. And
so he says... Oh, sorry.
No, go on.
So, there's a nice quote where he kind of sums up. Habit, obsession, addiction. These words are signposts along a path of ever decreasing free will.
Yeah.
Denial of the power of free will is implicit in the notion of addiction, and in our culture, addictions are viewed seriously, especially exotic or unfamiliar addictions.
Yeah.
So, just to give the guy credit, like, he's an okay writer.
I quite like how he
compared
writes.
compared to Varg, he is
like yeah,
he is an amazing, incredible writer. So it's fine. It's not the worst thing to read. So you'll see his quotes are understandable. He actually knows how to write.
he does write fairly well. He really likes the word adumbrate and just keeps using it, which is a bit distracting. If you're going to use a weird word, maybe use it
he was
once and then
definitely
throw
one of
it
those
away,
kids in year 12 who like picked a couple of key words to use on their assignment and was like, I'm on their like English essays, like, I know these words will make me sound smarter than I actually am, so I'm just going to keep on hitting those words.
Yeah, it sounds like
mellifluous, a dumbrate, cornucopia.
A pharmacological cornucopia. But why I wanted to bring up habits, obsessions, addictions is because those feed into his definition of a drug, and he defines drug super broadly and only defines it right at the end of the book, because he'll define things like TV and sugar as drugs. And initially in my notes, I was scribbling all over them saying, no, that's just not a drug. But he defines a drug very late, and his definition is consistent through the book, but only makes sense once you know it. So he says that a drug is something that causes unexamined, obsessive, and habitual behavior. So super broad definition. But
yeah, he should have at least tacked in like an exogenous stimuli to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could become obsessed with some thought inside your own mind.
Yeah.
And it would qualify as a drug under that.
And it does bring up the interesting
you could say under that definition, like an ideology is a drug, but I am...
Yeah, but I think he does define them almost as drugs. His definition of drug is really broad, but it brings up the really interesting question. Within his framework, are psychedelics drugs? Because No. So I thought it was interesting, at least by his definition of drugs. For me personally, I'm not sure that psychedelics would qualify as drugs, because they're not habitual. I do not want to try these things habitually. It is not unexamined behavior. I'm more than aware of when I've taken them. Yeah, something like what I'm drinking right now. Like this is a drug by Terry's
coffee.
Yeah, according to Terry's metric, acid is not. Anyway, that
depends on the dosage.
Depends on the dosage. Yeah, that was a discursion. I promised that we'd go through chronologically with discursions, and I've already fulfilled the promise. So.